Scorpio, greetings and salutations, my friends. Today I'm going to do something just a little different. I'm going to pull the cards with the intentions of calling out issues of self-care. And it's specifically your self-care and how it affects the relationships in your life. The purpose of this is if you improve yourself, you'll ultimately improve all the relationships in your life, be it romantic or otherwise. So, what I'm getting here is that you are holding on to so many things that you're not allowing change to come through, right? You're not allowing the transformation in. It's like you're holding on to everything like white knuckled and tight, like, oh, I don't want any change. It's like you're pushing that away. There is a new path trying to be forged upon you, and you don't really have much choice in the matter. Time is linear. You can't go back to the way that things were, and you can't keep everything the way that they are forever, right? So there's a danger here, and we call it the tower moment in tarot. If the universe is telling you that it's time to move forward and there's things that you need to learn, if you don't accept that change, if you try to resist it, eventually what happens is the tower moment comes in. The universe just tightens its boot and sticks it way up there. I guess that's the best way to say it. But that's exactly what it does, is it makes it very, very painful. It usually allows you the chances to. How many times have you been in a situation where you had the chance to do the right thing and you didn't do it, and then everything really fell apart, and you're like, man, had I just done this a little bit sooner, I wouldn't be in the hot mess that I'm in right now? That's the energy that I get from your reading right now. Like you're being gently nudged to go in this direction. There's a certain alignment, there's a certain path that's unfolding for you. And you're like, I don't want to do that. And the universe is going, but if you don't, it's going to be worse, right? So you want to remain in control of all of your resources. So this has to do with health, maybe even mental health, um, wealth, and time management. You've reached a spot of comfortability and you don't want to go through the process of change, right? However, it's showing some desire of wanting to give this cup to somebody. So it's almost like you don't want to step out of your comfort zone, right? But even though you don't want to step out of your comfort zone, you want somebody to change for you. You want somebody to come in and offer you some sort of reprieve. So it's like you don't have the desire to make the change on your own to save yourself, right? You want to remain in your comfort zone and you want somebody else, a white knight, to come in and fix all your problems. And that right there is the killer of all relationships, be it a romantic relationship, a familial relationship, or whatever. When you expect somebody else to make you happy, when you expect somebody else to fix your problem, when you expect somebody else to fill that void, then the only person who you're going to attract is somebody who's manipulative. And well, Scorpio, you've been there before. You've been there before. That's why it's so hard to reach out in the first place. That's why it's difficult to show that vulnerability and build that trust. You're just thinking the perfect person's going to come along, swoop in, and make everything better. Be the person who you've pictured in your head, even though you haven't explained the picture in your head to anybody else. That's silly. So you can't expect somebody else to fill that void. You can't expect somebody else to bring you happiness. You have to be a whole and complete person and find the happiness within. And when you find the happiness within, somebody else will see that happiness and want to come in. But right now, you're saying, I don't want to be vulnerable, but I want somebody to love me. And that's just never going to work. It's not. The responsibility for making you happy is yours. So I do want to remind you guys that the purpose of this reading was to call out issues of self care and how it affects your relationships. If you are triggered or upset by this reading, please feel free to vent your frustrations in the comments below, as it's easier to tell a stranger, especially one who understands, somebody who's been through similar things like this before, than it is to bottle this up and let those frustrations be vented out onto a loved one. The purpose of this reading is to have an honest conversation with yourself before you go adjusting the relationships in your life. You can only change you. You can't change them. I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I'll see you next time.